it's Najah Reviews back with another video of my favorite show from. So this episode was one of my favorite episodes. If you watched it, you would not have been able to look away because it was so intriguing and chaotic and exciting. This is going to be my breakdown and I'm going to spotlight some of my favorite moments in the show. Of course, I'll put a little button here. Please subscribe to my channel. If you get a chance, I'll be posting more reviews of different kinds of shows. The episode starts out, Boyd is talking to Kenny's mom and she's just looking at him like, I don't know if she's like really receiving the information that he's giving to her, but I feel like she thinks that he's full of
You full of
understand that? And pretty much, Boyd is trying to convey like, he wants people to feel safe, and she's just staring at him. And then Kenny ends up walking in. He has so much rage within him. I think he wants to fight Boyd, but I don't think that he thinks that he will actually win. So he just is very aggressive with Boyd. Boyd ends up storming out. And when he storms out, he sees this ballerina, this beautiful ballerina in all white, and she's dancing. And I think he was a little bit like, okay, like he kind of liked it at first. And then he even started like dancing with her a little bit. And then she turns into a monster and like worms are coming out of her mouth, just like the worms in his arm. So I don't know if that's why he's seeing it, because he has the worms. But it was a very awesome scene. Like I was actually like, I wanted to laugh, but I also was scared. Like I was like, what is happening?
I'm confused, bro.
Like I knew it at that point it was gonna be such a great episode. They're talking about rations. Donna doesn't want people to know that they're running out of food. They're gonna pretty much starve to death. The girl with the dark hair, I can't remember her name right now, but she confronts her girlfriend because she realizes her girlfriend is using drugs because she looks in her bag to find something. And girlfriend ends up like getting upset because when she was going through the bag, she found the paperwork pretty much saying that she was going to rehab. So then it makes her realize like, let me go check and make sure she's not stealing drugs, because, and she was, and that's why she got so mad. If you notice, she got the maddest when the drugs were being taken. And I think she just is upset because she realizes now she's not going to be able to get that fixed. So Boyd is walking with Kenny and he starts to let him know about the worms in his arm. Like he's finally being open. People are being more open in the show, which I love that. And Kenny is like, he doesn't really believe him. He thinks he's losing his mind. They imply that later on in the episode that he believes that Boyd is kind of on the beginning stages of Alzheimer's or dementia. I'm not sure, but anyways, to make matters worse, already that Kenny thinks Boyd is crazy or losing his mind, Boyd suddenly sees the music box and he starts like seeing things. He sees the ballerina again, and Kenny's just like, wow, my friend has really lost his mind. I remember when I lost my mind. Also, Boyd ends up pulling a gun on the nurse, so she's very alarmed, and of course she alerts Kenny to make Kenny even more convinced that Boyd is crazy. I'm not gonna talk about this too long, but Fatima is mad at Ellis for some dumb reason. Anyways, they're interrupted because they hear a commotion going on downstairs. The older man is accusing the newer black character that was seeing the visions. He's accusing him of stealing food, which he probably was. I would get some food too. And it ends up being like a tussle. The guy ends up telling Ellis's girlfriend to shut the F up. Ellis, gets buck with him. I feel like the guy didn't like that because when all the commotion was going on, I think that he intentionally stabbed Ellis because it was just too, I don't know, I don't trust him. I'm just wondering what's going to happen to him now, because like in the prior season, when someone did something wrong, they go to the box. So I feel like that's box worthy, or at least having him go to jail or something. Like, is there a jail there? Because he literally stabbed Boyd's son. So I can only imagine what's going to happen to him. So Boyd is talking to the priest, and of course Kenny walks in. Another scene where Kenny is confirmed that Boyd has lost his mind. So these scenes coming up are my favorite scenes of the show. I love the action and being scared. I was literally like squirming like a little kid, like watching a scary movie, because when we realized that Ellis was going to have to go to the clinic, I just knew it was going to go crazy. The young man, he ended up saying like, I have a plan. And he goes out there and it's so dark and those monsters are like, they're already coming towards him from different directions. And he gets in the car. It definitely was giving a horror movie vibe. And he ends up getting the car to start. He speeds off. He gets to the house. And then Fatima and Ellis are able to get in just in the nick of time. And they get into the van. And then while they're driving, Fatima's saying like, you're going fast enough. I'm like, oh, it's going to be an accident. I'm stressing out, but I'm like, this is what I wanted. So I'm like, why is so much going on? But I literally wanted all this action. Anyways, they get to the house and they knock on the door. Everyone is alarmed, of course. Boyd ends up coming in and the nurse ends up asking, what is Ellis's blood type? He's O negative, I believe. You could do the blood transfusion. And then Boyd realizes, I have these worms in my arm. I don't want to give that to my son. He ends up like, kind of going back and forth with them. They were having a little quarrel. And Kenny was trying to help, but I also feel like Kenny is so very salty. So he put a gun on him very aggressively. I just feel like he wanted to pull a gun on him, to be honest. Rightfully so. I'm just on Boyd's side because he's the main character. And then Boyd has an idea. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, what is Boyd doing? So he goes outside. He's calling the monsters, come out, come out. And I'm thinking like, I actually thought that the monsters weren't going to come. I thought they could like smell his blood. I had an inclination that the blood would deter the monsters from wanting to, attack him. But I thought for a minute they weren't going to come, and it was going to make them have a realization that he was immune. But then they all started coming, and my favorite monster came from the front, and he was like smiling, of course. And then I was like, already it's scary enough. And then they start coming from the back, and then he's standing there, and he's like, and then he puts his blood on his neck, and he says, "My blood is your blood now, mother." And I was like, and I didn't know what was gonna happen next. I was like, yes. Because I was like, are the monsters gonna come kill Boyd now? But of course, as per usual, the monsters are very inquisitive. They're like, did they just kill my realize, oh, wait a minute, we don't want to mess with him because we see what happened to our friend, and they walk off. And Boyd goes back in the house. Ellis ends up getting better. He gets the blood transfusion, and Kenny and him are standing at the window like, wow, we just killed a monster. I am very, very excited to see what is going to happen the next morning when they see that monster. Is he going to have that face? Because you notice when he was dying, his face turned into his true form, which is a monster. When he turned into his true form, he looked hideous. And I'm curious to see what is going to happen in the morning. Is it going to be gone? Is the monster going to disappear? Is it going to look like the way it looked when Boyd killed him? I'm very interested to see, Anyways, it was such a great episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Comment, subscribe, share, whatever you feel is best. And thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful Memorial Day.